3D Maloli Numero 5.
Before we get started, I just want to let you guys know that I'm using a 2021 version of Substance Painter, and I'm using a Mac, but everything would be the same if you were using a PC or a newer version of Substance. Let's go to File, New, and let's give it a document resolution of 2048, and let's make sure it's on metallic roughness, algorithm, and let's go to OpenGL and let's go to select, and let's select the FBX file that we just exported from Maya and open it and hit OK. If we take a look at the minion, each material we assign to it has its own texture set. So the bolts, the gloves, everything has its own texture set. But before we do anything, we have to bake the mesh maps. So let's go to texture settings first. And let's give it a size of 4096. Let's go to bake mesh maps. Let's change the output size to 4096. And everything looks fine. Let's just go to bake selected textures. Let's fast forward a little bit and let's hit OK. And let's go to the layers tab and let's select the AI body texture set. And let's go to materials and let's scroll up and select the plastic material and drag it up to the layers palette. And let's give it a roughness of 0.6732. And let's change the color. Let's give it sort of a minion yellow color. Maybe a little bit more orange. Add a little more orange. Give it a little more orange to it. I think that looks about right. Let's select the plastic matte material again, and let's drag it to the layers palette. And let's put it above the yellow material, and let's add a black mask. Let's go to the polygon fill tool, and let's select the UV chunk fill, this guy right here, and let's select this guy and fill it, and select the blue color, and let's change it to red. Let's change it to like a red gummy color. And let's take a closer look, and if we look inside, throat has a red color. And let's give it some roughness. Maybe a little bit more. Let's make it a little bit darker. And let's select the yellow color. And let's make it a little bit more orange. Let's create a fill layer and let's drag it above the throat color. Let's change the base color. Let's go to the eyedropper and let's select the throat color. And let's turn off these attributes, the height, the roughness, the metal, and normal. And let's add a black mask. And let's select the color and let's make it really dark, like a brown color. And let's go back to the black mask. And let's go to the brush tool. And let's turn the flow down a little bit. And the stroke opacity down a little bit. And let's go to Control, right mouse, and drag horizontally to change the brush size. And let's paint the inner throat area. Let's try to paint it and make it darker. We're just painting the mask white to let the darker color show through. Let's go to the texture set and select the AI_shoes. Select the shoes. And let's go to the materials palette and select the leather soft grain and drag it up. And let's add a black mask. Let's go to the polygon fill tool and let's select the UV chunk fill and let's fill these guys. And let's take a closer look. You can see the graying on the shoes. Let's change the color real quick. Let's change it to almost black color. And let's change the scale also. Let's go to the scale and let's change it to 12. About 12. That looks pretty good. And let's see, let's add a little bit of roughness. Let's go to the materials palette and let's select the plastic matte pure and drag it up. And let's put it above the leather soft grain. Let's add a black mask and let's go to polygon fill and let's fill these guys. And let's select the blue color and let's take a closer look. And let's go to the eyedropper and let's eyedrop the color from the leather soft grain. Let's add a little bit of roughness to it. Let's go to the texture set and let's select the AI_gloves. And let's go to the materials and let's drag the leather soft grain to the layers palette. And let's take a closer look and let's change the color. Let's make it all black. And let's change the scale. Let's make it about 14.2, maybe a little bit higher, about 25.55. That looks alright. And next, let's change the roughness. Let's lower it down to about 0.5. I think that looks alright. Let's go to the texture set list and let's select the AI overall. And let's go to the materials palette and let's select the fabric soft denim and drag it up to the layers palette. And let's change the scale to, let's change the scale to about 8.35. And let's change the color. Let's give it like a blue denim-ish color. I'm gonna adjust the color a little bit. Let's create a fill layer. And let's turn off the roughness and metal attribute and let's select the base color. Let's go to the eyedropper and select the fabric soft denim and let's make it a little bit lighter. Next, let's add a black mask. And let's go to the brush tool. And let's turn down the flow to about 9 and the stroke opacity to about 19. Let's go to symmetry. Let's go to the brush tool. Hold Control and right click drag horizontally to change the brush size. And let's paint these areas right here. On the pocket, on the edges of the pocket. And let's just paint these areas on the edge of the overalls where there will be wear and tear. Let's paint these areas on the front of the overalls and underneath the belly, on the belly. Try to create that faded chain look, if you know what I'm talking about. Let's change the lighting of the minion since we can't see underneath. Let's select the soft or to bank. Let's hit shift, right mouse button, and horizontally drag to change the lighting. Let's paint the back side of the minion. Let's add the fade to the glute area, or to the back side of the minion. Let's add the highlights to the wrinkles in this area right here, and to the side right here. Just add all the highlights to the wrinkles. I turn off the symmetry tool, but you can leave it on if you want to. Let's add the wrinkles right here, the highlights, where near where the strap and the button meet the overall. For reference, you can probably just do a quick Google search and look up overalls, and you can also just look at your own blue jeans. Let's turn on symmetry real quick and let's work on the wrinkles on the top of the overalls. Let's add the highlights and the wrinkles at the cuff of the bottom of the leg, near the leg opening. Let's turn off the symmetry real quick and let's create a new paint layer, and let's rename it Stitches. And let's go to the menu on the left and let's select the tools, go to Stitches, and let's change the size to 0.9 and the spacing to 6, and let's go to the base color and let's change it to like a sort of yellow, muted yellow color for the stitch. I think that looks good. Let's work on the pocket first. Let's hold down the shift key and keep clicking until we reach the end of the pocket right here. We have a little bit of stitch right here. Let's push number 2 for the eraser tool and just delete it. And let's begin here again. Let's go back to the brush tool. Hold down shift and click, and hold down the shift key and keep clicking. Let's just incrementally click until we get to the end right here. Let's work on the top of the Minion's overalls. Let's establish a starting point and left mouse click and then hold the shift key and keep clicking while holding down the shift key. And then left mouse click again, hold the shift key. And keep going until we stop right here. And let's create another line of stitches. Left mouse click and then shift. Hold the shift key while clicking and keep going and begin again. Hold shift, left mouse click, keep going till we stop right here. Let's create the vertical stitches that go all the way to the pocket on the overall. Let's click, left mouse click and hit shift, and let's go all the way down. Let's do the other line of stitches as well. Now let's go all the way across the pocket. Let's do the other line. Let's do the same thing on the other side. Let's create some stitches, vertical stitches going downwards to the pocket. Let's go this way. Nope, let's undo that. Go this way. And let's create the next set of stitches next to it. Let's create these stitches going across the pocket. And these right here. And let's do the same thing on the other side. Should have used the symmetry tool. I don't know why I didn't. Let's turn on the symmetry tool. And let's add this line of stitches near the belt loop area on the side of the Minion. Let's shift click and let's go to the eraser tool and erase this little bit right here. And let's go back to the brush tool. And add the second row of stitches. Shift click and drag all the way down. And let's see. Let's keep the symmetry tool still on. Let's go to the side seam and let's add a line of stitches there. Let's take a look. I think that looks alright. Let's create the bottom hem, the stitches for the bottom hem. And let's drag these guys. Click and shift. Let's try to create a nice curve. And let's create this next line of stitches right here. Let's erase this little guy right here. And let's continue the stitching on the side seam all the way to the bottom. Let's take a closer look. Stitching looks kind of crooked, as you can tell. So let's erase those guys. And let's make them straight. Let's paint it directly on there. And these are kind of crooked as well, so let's erase those guys. Let's erase these guys. Let's just paint it directly on there. Oop. Shift, click. Okay. That looks a little bit crooked. Let's repaint it. Let's just hold shift and click. Okay. And these guys right here are crooked as well. Let's erase these guys. And let's hold shift and click. And that looks a little bit better. Let's turn off the symmetry tool and let's make the stitches for the crotch area or the zipper. Let's click and hold shift and make a straight line. And let's erase this little guy right here. Let's click and hold shift and make another straight line. And click and hold shift. Let's make the horizontal line here. And then let's make the straight line going down. Make these stitches go down. Click and shift and make it parallel to the other line. Click and shift. And then just add one little one right here. Erase this guy. Okay. Add a little one right here. Okay. Let's take a closer look on the zipper area. It looks okay. Now let's work on the back of the minion. Let's shift and right mouse drag horizontally to change the lighting. Let's turn on the symmetry and let's create this stitch line right here. And let's connect it in the middle. Ooh, that doesn't look good. Let's turn off symmetry and let's just connect it. Let's drag a straight line across. Let's erase this guy right here. Let's look over here and let's erase this little stray stitch on the strap. And let's create the next stitch. So let's turn on the symmetry and let's create the next stitch line. Drag it all the way across. Let's turn off the symmetry and then just connect it. Let's turn on symmetry real quick and work on the vertical stitches on the side of the overalls. Let's create these stitches here. And let's take a look at the Minion model. And the stitches don't really line up, so we'll have to delete those. Let's delete these guys right here, and we'll just have to create the stitches on the Minion. So let's go to the Minion real quick. Let's start right here. Click Shift and hold down Shift and just create the stitches here. It's probably true that we could probably create the stitches quicker with auto stitch and just generate it, but I think this in the zipper area and the pocket area, I don't think you would be able to use auto stitch. And run into the strap, so we'll just delete that real quick and just go back to the UV map and just create a straight stitch right here, and that'll run under the strap. Create these stitches right here. That run parallel to the other stitch. Create this curve and go up. Click and hold Shift and go straight up. Delete this a little bit, and let's go to the UV map and do it a bit quicker. And I think that looks alright. And let's go to the side seam and run another parallel stitch. Make this guy go all the way down. Now let's do the bottom hem area. So let's make this guy go across the back here. That's a little bit crooked. Erase that. Let's connect it to here. That looks a little bit high, but it should be okay. Connect these guys here. And let's take a look and I think that looks alright. Now let's work on the strap of the Minion. Let's change the size to 0.9 and let's take a closer look right here. And let's create the stitches for the strap. Let's work on the stitches in the front of the crotch area. So let's create some zigzag stitches. Let's redo that one more time. And I think that looks a little bit better. Now let's work on the stitches that go all the way from the bottom of the crotch area to the glutes. So let's click and shift and let's pull these guys out. And pull these guys all the way up here. These guys horizontally, and let's connect these guys. And let's connect these guys over here. Let's give it some zigzag stitches. I think it looks better if the stitches aren't perfect. It makes it more realistic. Let's work on the button. Let's go to the texture set list and let's select AI_button. And let's go to the materials menu and let's select the plastic matte pure and drag it up. And let's change the base color real quick to all black. And let's change the roughness a little bit to maybe 0.34. Let's work on the goggles. Let's go to the texture set list and select AI_goggles. And let's go to the smart materials and let's pick the copper and drag it up to the layers palette. And let's open the folder and let's select the base color and let's give it a more white color, like a silver white. Let's go to surface bumps and let's reduce the height of it to almost 0 and give it more roughness. And let's select the base color of Metal Dirty and make it lighter. And a little bit lighter. Let's go to the base metal and go to the finish galvanize filter. And let's increase the scale to 8 and reduce the flake intensity to 0.03. Let's close the Smart Materials folder real quick. And let's go to copy layer, and let's go to the AI_bolt and paste the layer here. Let's take a closer look. The bolts look kind of shiny, so let's open the copper folder and let's go to base metal and increase the roughness. And that looks a little bit better. Let's close the folder. Let's go back to AI_goggles and let's add some scratches to the Minion goggle. Let's create a new fill layer and let's add a black mask. And in that black mask, let's add a fill layer. Let's go to grayscale and let's go to grunge and scratches. And let's adjust these parameters here, especially the scale here. Let's adjust the scale and let's also adjust the scratch quantity and the balance. And let's just adjust these parameters to your liking. Let's take a look at that. I think that looks pretty good. And let's work on the AI_hinge. And let's go to the materials and let's go to the iron brush and let's drag this material up to the layers palette. Let's adjust the scale. And let's adjust the roughness a little bit. And we also need to add some scratches and wear to it as well. So let's create a new fill layer and add a black mask and go to that mask and add a fill. Let's go to the grayscale, select grunge and scratches again. Let's change the scale so we can see the scratches on there. And let's adjust all these parameters as well. Let's work on the headband. Let's go to AI_headband and select it. And let's go to materials and go to medium, leather medium grain, and drag it up to the layers palette. And next, let's go to the color and let's make it completely black. And let's adjust the roughness. Let's make it 0.5. and I think that looks alright. Let's work on the minion's gum, teeth, and tongue. Let's go to AI underscore teeth. Let's turn off the visibility of the AI body. And let's take a closer look. Let's drag the plastic pure matte to the layers palette, and let's add a black mask. Let's go to the polygon fill and make sure it's on UV chunk fill, and let's fill the gums. Change the base color to like a red color, make it more like gum tissue color. Let's work on the teeth of the minion, and let's drag the same material, plastic matte pure, to the layers palette, and let's change the color to a almost pure white color, and let's take a closer look and let's adjust the roughness a little bit. Next, let's work on the tongue. Let's turn off the visibility of the AI underscore teeth, and let's work on it. Let's go to the tongue and let's have a closer look. Let's drag the leather medium grain and drag it to the layers palette, and let's adjust the scale. That looks good, and adjust the color. Let's try to get a nice red tongue color. And let's adjust the roughness. Let's turn down the roughness so it has a little bit of a shininess to it. Let's turn on the visibility of the AI teeth and the body again. Let's work on the hair of the minion. Let's go to AI underscore hair and select it. Let's drag the plastic matte pure again to the layers palette, and let's change the base color to pure black. Let's take a closer look and let's change the roughness. Let's adjust it a little bit. And let's take a look at everything. Next, we're going to export the textures of the minion. Let's go to File. Let's go to Export Textures. Let's make sure these parameters are the same. AI Arnold AI Standard, PNG 16 bits, and make sure it's based on each texture set size. Make sure it's set on that. And let's definitely check every single texture set because we want to export all of them. Let's go to Output Templates, AI Standard. And this is all the textures that will be exported. You can select which files you want to export. And let's go ahead and export it. Next, we'll bring these textures back into Maya. Now we're going to go to the substance shelf. And if you don't have the shelf, just go to Windows and just go to Settings and Preferences and go to Plugin Manager and type in Substance. And this plugin should show up, and just check all these guys, check them, and it should automatically show up. Let's click this tab right here. Let's go to select multiple maps. Let's go up the hierarchy one, and let's go to source images. Select Minion substance textures, and let's go to select all the Minion body texture, which is right here, and let's select roughness, normal, metalness, skip the height, and select the base color, and let's click select and hit apply. Let's go to the hypershade and open it up, and Substance Painter automatically created an AI standard surface with all those textures on it. So let's select it and let's rename it to AI underscore minion underscore body. And let's select the body of the minion and go to assign material to selection. And now it has the Substance Painter texture on it. Let's go to the Apply Materials tab and let's select multiple maps, and let's go to the source images, and let's go to Minion Substance Texture, and let's select these guys. Set for the height map. Let's deselect that and select the base color. And let's select. And hit apply. And let's go to the hypershade. And let's rename the AI standard surface it created. Let's rename it to AI underscore minion underscore overall. Let's go to the overall group. Let's go to the minion geo, open it up, go to the minion overall group and select all these guys. Set for the button. But let's open the button. We still gotta select the thread and the other button as well, and the thread underneath. And let's apply material to selection. And as you can see, it looks a lot darker than when we created it in Substance Painter, but that's because we don't have the proper lighting. It'll look different once it's rendered. Let's close these groups right here, and let's go to the Applied Materials tab again, and let's select multiple maps, and let's select the shoes, AI normal shoes, base color, roughness, and metalness, and select it, and let's apply. And let's go to the hypershade, and let's rename the material it created, AI underscore minion underscore shoes, and let's select the shoes, and let's go to the material, and let's go to assign material to selection. Let's go to the Applied Materials tab, and let's select multiple maps, and let's go to the glove. Let's select the roughness, metalness, and the base color, and let's find a normal. Let's see, should be right here. Okay, and let's select it, hit apply. Let's rename the material I just created to AI underscore minion underscore gloves. And let's select the gloves. And let's go to apply material to selection. Let's go to the Apply Materials tab, and let's go to select multiple maps. And let's select the goggles. Yeah, goggle base color, metalness, roughness, and normal, and hit apply. And let's go to the hypershade and let's select the material I just created and rename it to AI underscore Minion underscore goggles. And let's go to the outliner and select the goggles and go to assign material to selection. Let's go to the apply transform tab in the substance shelf again. Let's select multiple maps and let's look for the Minion underscore AI bolts. Let's select the base color, metalness, normal, and roughness, and let's select those and hit apply. And let's rename the shader to AI underscore Minion underscore bolt. And let's select the bolt group L and R, and let's go to assign material to selection. Let's go to the apply materials tab again and let's select multiple maps, and this time let's select the AI underscore hinge. Let's go to the roughness, normal, metalness, and let's select the base color and let's hit select and apply. And let's change the name of the material we just created, AI Minion underscore hinge. Let's select the hinge and let's assign material to selection. Let's go to the apply transform tab and let's select multiple maps and let's select the AI headband, AI underscore headband. Let's select the base color and select the metalness, normal, and roughness and select, and let's apply. Let's rename the material to AI underscore Minion underscore headband, and let's select it, Minion strap, and assign material to selection. Once again, let's go to the apply transform tab and let's go to select multiple maps and let's look for the button. Let's go to AI underscore button roughness, and then let's select the normal, metalness, and the base color. And let's hit select and hit apply. Let's go to the hypershade real quick. And let's select the material I created. And let's rename it to AI underscore Minion button. And let's select it, select the buttons. Go to assign material to selection. Let's go to the apply transfer tab one more time and let's select multiple maps and let's select the hair. So let's select the roughness, normal, metalness, and the base color and select, and let's hit apply. And let's rename the material AI underscore Minion underscore hair. And let's go to the outliner and let's select the hair groups. And let's go to the material and assign material to selection. Let's go to the applied materials tab once again, select multiple maps, This time we'll select the Minion AI tongue. So let's look for it. See right here, we found the normal. And the roughness, middleness, and base color. And let's select it. Hit apply. Let's go to the hypershade once again. And let's select the creative material and let's rename it to AI underscore minion underscore tongue. And let's select the tongue in the outliner and let's go to apply, assign material to selection. Let's go to the apply materials tab again and let's go select multiple maps. And next we will look for the teeth. So let's select the teeth normal and the teeth base color, the teeth metalness and roughness. And let's select, let's apply. And let's go to the AI standard material we just created and rename it to AI underscore teeth. Minion underscore teeth. Let's select the upper teeth group and the bottom teeth group. Assign material to selection. If you remember, the gums and the teeth are in the same texture set, so we don't need to assign another shader for the gums. Let's close the Minion Geo group and let's go to the Arnold tab. Let's select the area light. Let's create an area light and let's move it forward and to the front of the Minion. Let's just turn off the image planes. Let's scale it. Let's move it back a little and let's change the intensity to 20 and the exposure to 2. And let's duplicate it and move it back and rotate it 180 degrees towards the Minion. Let's duplicate it one more time, move it to the left side of the Minion and rotate it 90 degrees towards the Minion and duplicate it one more time. And let's move it to the right side of the Minion and rotate it 180 degrees. And let's duplicate the light one more time and move it to the top of the Minion and rotate it 90 degrees facing the top of the Minion. Let's duplicate it one more time and let's move it to the bottom of the Minion and rotate it up to face the bottom of the Minion. The reason why I do it this way is because the sky dome light is kind of flat. Let's go to render settings and let's change the resolution to HD 720. My computer is really slow, so if yours can handle more, you can increase the resolution. Let's change the AA or the anti-aliasing to 4. And let's go to the camera settings and go to the resolution gate, turn that on. Let's zoom in a little bit and hit render. You can see that our minions overall is a little bit darker than when we were texturing it in Substance Painter. Some of that could be from the lighting and some of that could be from color management, but we can always fix it later on. Let's organize the Minion a little better. Let's select the lens and add it to the Minion goggles group. And let's select the Minion eye group L and Minion eye group R and add it to the Minion Geo. Let's take a closer look at the Minion goggles. I want to see if all the details we created in the substance show up, like all the scratches and wear and tear. So let's render it real quick. I could definitely see the galvanized metal, and I can see some subtle scratches, but not too many scratches, but the detail is there. Let's look from this angle, see if we can see any more detail in the goggles. And I can definitely see the scratches now, and as well as I can see the leather grain of the headband. Substance Painter did a really good job on those metal parts. Let's take a closer look at the gloves and see what they look like when we render it. I think that looks pretty good. It has that rubbery leather texture. Let's take a closer look at the overall and the button area. And let's take a look at all the stitching and see how those turned out, and see if we can find the details. Let's take a look at the Minion's mouth. Let's take a quick look at the Minion shoes. Let's render it really quick. And it looks pretty good. I can see the leather grain on the shoes. Let's turn off the visibility of the Minion's body, and let's take a closer look at the gums and teeth, and let's render it. And we can see some detail in the tongue there, some texture. And let's turn back on the visibility of the Minion's body. Next, let's work on the lens of the Minion. We need it to magnify the eyes, so let's go to View and turn off Resolution Gate. And let's take a closer look. Select the lens, the goggles, and one of the left eye groups, and hit Ctrl+1 to isolate it. Let's go to the lens and let's select vertices. Select these guys right here. And let's push F11 to select the faces. Let's go to base mesh mode. And let's go to the right view. Let's go to the right view, I think, side view. Let's go to wireframe mode and let's scale it out. That way it'll magnify the eyes. Let's select these edges and let's scale them out as well. Select these edge loops as well and scale it out a little bit. Let's select the vertices in the middle and let's pull them out a little bit. Let's go to the right view. Let's go scale and just pull them out just a little bit. And next, let's add 2 edge loops on the side of the lens. Let's add one here and here. Let's hit Ctrl+1 to bring back the Minion. And let's select the right lens and delete it. Let's select the left lens and go to the attribute editor. And let's go to AI_glass. And let's change some things. Let's reduce the weight of the specular. And reduce the roughness a little bit. And let's reduce the transmission weight a little bit, just a tiny bit. And increase the roughness just a little bit. And let's take a quick render. You can see the lens magnifying the eye. Let's duplicate the left lens to the right side. Let's go to Edit, Duplicate Special. Make sure it's on Copy and -1 on the X scale. And let's change the underscore L to R. And let's render it one more time to see what it looks like. I think there's too much reflection coming from the goggles lens, so let's change that. Let's go to Windows, Relationship Editor. Let's go to Light Linking. Let's go to Object Centric. Let's go to open the Minions Geo and the Minions Goggles group. Select Lens underscore L and select Area Light 1, and Lens underscore R and select Area Light 1. That way Area Light 1 won't affect it, and render it. And I think that looks a little better. You can see the eye is better. Let's select the perspective camera and duplicate it. And let's rename it to Minion underscore turnaround. And let's go to the panels and let's select it. And let's turn on the resolution gate. Let's select the Minion Geo group and let's go to the first frame and set a key. And let's go to the frame 120 and type in 360. I'm going to set a key there as well. And now it rotates. But let's make it negative 360 since I wanted to rotate the other way. Let's lock the camera on the Minion turnaround real quick. And let's go to render settings. Let's give it a name. Let's call it Minion underscore turnaround. And let's change the image format to TIFF. And let's give it name.number.extension. And let's give it an end frame of 120. And delete the perspective camera. And let's go to the rendering workspace. And let's go to render. Let's go to render sequence option box. Make sure it's on Minion turnaround and make sure the output location is correct and render the sequence. Here's the turnaround of the Minion. Everything looks fine except maybe a little distortion in the Minion goggles. I also brought in the Minion turnaround into DaVinci Resolve and adjusted the levels a little bit. Now the colors match those in Substance Painter. If you guys have gotten this far in the tutorial, I would like to see how your Minion turned out, so post the link of your turnaround in the comments section, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.